Most musicians out there are spending years learning the wrong skills when it comes to how to market yourself. And that's why they never make money, never grow, and never make this a full-time career. It's not because their music is bad or anything. It's because nobody is showing them the right way to go about this. My name's Randy. I've been an audio engineer for 16 years. I've recorded thousands of songs. I've seen what people do when they release their music. And I could tell you, the song isn't the most important part. It's how well you know your strategy, how well you know how to market yourself and build a business. So instead of showing you just some generic content, I wanted to pick out 3 pieces of content that helped change my view on how marketing should be done, how marketing yourself should be done, especially as an independent artist. I'm going to show you 3 different clips that I think are very important to your brand. And no, they're not little tiny TikTok clips. These are long videos that you should watch, or channels that you should absorb more of. This first one is from Hormozi. He's a huge content guru kind of guy on YouTube. And you might be thinking to yourself, he's just trying to sell courses on marketing and things like that. There's a lot that you could learn from some of these guys, especially with some of the amazing free content that they're trying to put out. He usually talks about marketing and branding for bigger businesses, not for small musicians or things like that. But if you want to scale yourself into a big business, you need to know how they operate, how they think, how they build their brand. And he's really good at teaching these types of things.
And so here's how branding happens. Branding is a deliberate pairing of things through an outcome. So I'll say that again. Branding is a deliberate pairing of things through an outcome. So let's use Coca-Cola, drinking it, and liking it as our example. The yum, aka the outcome, that's what people get. They pair that with drinking, the action, that's what they do to get it, with Coca-Cola, the product. So the next time you want some yum, you're probably going to reach for a Coca-Cola, if that was paired for you successfully. And so branding is a deliberate pairing of things through an outcome. That's it. But sometimes businesses pair their stuff with things that people don't like. That's bad branding.
I put the links in the description to watch the videos. This one's 3 hours long, but what I'm talking about is the first hour and a half. Yes, I told you it was going to be longer, okay? These are videos you might want to chip away at over time. This video is all about how to see branding and how to build your brand. Your brand is more important than you think. Having a strong brand is the reason why people like Rihanna get these huge makeup deals that turns them into a multi-millionaire or billionaire or something. Or how Dr. Dre has Beats by Dre, or 50 Cent with Vitamin Water. You may not be sure how to find your brand, or you may think that you know what your brand is. And you could be wrong on that too, by the way. But I love how this video outlines how you can figure out what your brand is, or at least start thinking about it, and apply that to knowing who your audience is and how your audience will know who you are. We want an audience that resonates, right? That starts with communication. And branding is all about that communication with as few words as possible. No, I'm not saying to buy his course or anybody's course, honestly. I'm just talking about checking out some free advice and maybe even researching this stuff a little further. He's got a lot of stuff out there that's pretty good, but it may not all apply to you. But sometimes it's good to get little nuggets of information out of things that might not seem like they're all that related. Before I get to this next video, at the very end of this video, I'm going to talk more about this in depth, how I feel about all this, and the harsh truths that come along with these conversations. This next clip is from a podcast called The Manager's Playbook. This one's actually geared towards musicians. Each episode features a special guest that is within the music industry, a lot of times unsigned, sometimes signed. It's either an artist, it could be a stylist, it could be a manager, a lot of working professionals in the music industry, and they share a lot of great knowledge. This clip that I picked is this artist Jamison, who, if you don't know, has been putting out an insane amount of content recently, but has been making music for a long time. I really like his approach when it comes to how he sees content. You know, some of us are really deep into the analytics and all that stuff, and he doesn't seem to care about any of that stuff. But you gotta watch the video, and I suggest subscribing to that channel and watching more of those videos. A lot of great gems in there, especially in these modern times when there's so many different custom ways that an artist can grow, and there's no specific one way to do it. That's why I don't like simple tips and tricks. I like gathering a lot of information from a lot of different artists and then seeing what applies to me and what I'm trying to do, or for the artists that I work with. In this video, Jameson talks about his content strategy, his release strategy, and his overall thoughts on the music business. He also talks about branding to tie it back into that first one.
Music video is a part of marketing, but you're not doing any content
That's
seeding.
the only marketing budget right there, the music video. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't spend anything on advertising, digital ads. You don't spend anything on content seeding. You just spend it on music videos.
Yeah. Because that's like, that marketing lasts forever. As long as you keep it up.
Again, that video is in the description below. This next video is from Caleb. He's a content strategist on YouTube, but he's worked with big names like Gary Vee. I think he worked with Alex Hormozi and a bunch of different people. He knows a lot about content and how to scale up a business. The video that I linked here is 6 hours long, okay? Before you close this video, stop, okay? This video outlines so many things when it comes to being a new creator, scaling all the way up to these massive creators that are pumping out a ton of content. And why I think this is relevant for musicians, I know you're not necessarily just trying to be a content creator, you are a musician. But how to build a business and how to scale a business in a world where content is king, there's a lot of great gems in here. And in my opinion, it's worth going through this whole video. You're gonna have to break it into chunks, obviously.
I define branding as a pairing of things. I define good branding as an intentional pairing of relevant things done consistently. And what you get from that is the byproduct, which is brand. Brand is when the audience inherently associates those things together. Let's use the most classic example known to man, Nike and Michael Jordan. Nike entered the basketball market and they wanted to have their audience or customers associate them with athletic greatness, specifically within the basketball industry. So what did they do? They intentionally paired themselves with greatness in basketball, Michael Jordan.
I highly suggest taking notes on his content and really try to rewrite your framework on how you see long-term goals and how to work your way back all the way to your midterm goals, which would be like a year, and then bring it back to your short-term goals, which would be like a week, to then bringing it back to your daily goals. Part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now with making videos is because I am trying to fulfill a 5-year goal. I'm not sure where exactly I want to be in 5 years, and it's okay. You don't have to either. But I know that content is the future. I've been preaching it for years. And I really want to test this out on a bigger scale. And the best way to do it is to test it on myself. So I am trying out how this goes, and I'm starting with a couple goals. My goals are that I want to be monetized in 1 year. I want to learn how to be in front of a camera and do this whole thing. I want to learn how to help teach people how to get better at building their careers. And I also want to start building a brand. What kind of brand do I want to build? I'm not really sure. A lot of YouTube channels, and God forbid TikToks, try to give you these little tiny bits and pieces of advice that you're supposed to then take away and build something with. But the truth is, you need to sit down and actually try to build something. Schedule yourself some time without anybody else around or with your team to learn these things, to go over them, and to refine your strategy, to develop a simple strategy in the first place. So yes, it's 6 hours long, but I really enjoy this content. It's definitely helped me understand my brand and my framework that I need to build to be successful within this over time. And I highly recommend you take the time to watch some of these videos. Now for the part where I get real on this. All 3 of these videos take some time to watch. You have to spend extra time to absorb them. But I feel like if you've made it this far, you're somebody who's at least curious in developing further. And I could tell you that I've thought about content and strategies and becoming successful for a long time. And from the knowledge that I've gathered from all the people that I've worked with over the years, these strategies ring true to all the people that were successful versus not successful. The people that could conceptualize bigger picture ideas and work their way backwards to the small, tiny daily details that they need to accomplish. There's a really big difference for those that do and those that don't. This is free information that you could learn something from that doesn't cost you any money. You don't have to buy their courses. I'm not saying that. I know they're all selling stuff. That's part of the YouTube game, if you're trying to make money off the music industry, you're trying to sell stuff too. We're all trying to make a living off of this. Some people are trying to make empires and stuff more than others, but still, I really respect this information. Yes, this is like homework. I know you're a grown-up trying to do homework. It's so hard. People pay for college with a bunch of money. They go into crazy debt to learn things. This is free. If you're one of those people that think this is way too general and doesn't fit, even if you think that you're more advanced than this knowledge that they're trying to give you, it's still good to look through this and in a simple way refine that strategy. Learning about branding from all these different directions and how to develop a content strategy, which I talk about all the time on here. It's nice to have a fresh perspective on this. This is a hard job to do. Being a full-time musician is really hard. It takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of effort, a lot of being smart, a lot of luck as well. But sometimes we have opportunities and we have luck that we are not utilizing. And the more we know about these working, moving parts in the music industry, the easier it will be for us to understand when we see something like that in front of us. Don't squander those opportunities because you think these videos might be a little bit boring and it feels like a lecture, because it kind of is. The non-fun details that you learn are some of the best things when it comes down to a career. It's the work that nobody sees. It's everybody else trying to get your attention, but you have to study. You can have a busy life and also carve out time to do this eventually. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Is there any other content out there that inspires you to learn more or bring a different perspective to something that you may not know about? Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you next time.